Alright guys, welcome back. So today we are at Wildcat Hollow. We're doing the long loop. Looking at probably 17 or 18 miles, just an overnight. Nothing too crazy. First off, I need you guys to do 3 things for me. Very simple things. 1, if you haven't already, go down and hit that subscribe button and join the family. I mean, then I can be your best friend, your pen pal, and whatever else makes you happy. 2, go down and hit like or dislike, I don't care, either one. And 3, go down and tell me what your favorite trail is to backpack on. Wildcat is definitely not my favorite trail, but I'm out doing it solo today because of that. Because when we looked at all the trails that I could do, most of them my wife wants to do with me. So we decided that I would come out and do the long loop, mud, here at Wildcat by myself, solo, because it's not one that she was real interested in doing. Now, last time I was here, we did 17.5 miles with Tori and Chris, and it was a very hot day, and we did it all in one straight through run. So going about 9.5 miles today, probably, maybe 10. There's a nice pine grove up on top of a little bit of elevation I want to camp in. A little bit of solo hammock camping, can't beat that. Alright guys, so let's talk pack weight. Because when you're solo and you're into these fall where it's warm during the day and cool at night kind of deals, like we are here in Ohio in late October, your pack weight changes. Now, I'm not as heavy as the last time I came to Wildcat when I didn't repack my pack, but being solo, I've got more things that I got to carry because I can't split it up with anyone else. I've got a little extra camera gear, a little bigger battery bank, and I also brought some kind of comforty things like 2 bottles of Mountain Dew Zero, just because I've got another 2 trips this weekend and I will have a combined mileage of over 35 miles for the weekend. It's actually Thursday now, but between now and Sunday I'll have over 35 miles, not counting whatever I get just walking around. I'm talking actual hiking miles. So I figured I deserve some comfort stuff, and also have some comfort food wise too that I'll show you later. But I am running a 25-pound trail weight right now. Now, if you guys have seen our other videos, you know I usually don't go over 20-pound trail weight. My base weight's usually somewhere between 11 in the summer and about 15 in the winter. But then you add in camera gear. On this trip, I'm just carrying my water and all the other stuff. It adds up quickly. So 25 pounds, but the old 3FUL gear frameless is carrying it like a dream. Now, I will say, as I sit here and go down the trail, that it is bulkier than normal feeling. So I kind of have to, I usually like kind of lean back because I've been working on my posture when I'm hiking, and I kind of feel like if I lean back too far it might start pulling me. So it's the bulk, not the weight, that's getting me. But overall it's not bad at all. I know this is a decent mile trail, 17 or 18 miles with that weight. You know, I'm sure that I will feel it on my hips or in my shoulders by the end of day 2, but nothing that'll bother me, honestly. I definitely feel like I could do better though. I could have left a lot of stuff at home. But hey, you gotta live, you know what I mean? And if you carry more than that, you're awesome. Carrying what makes you happy, honestly. I poke fun at a lot of my friends and try and get them to lighten up. But honestly, it's whatever you want to carry, just carry it. Enjoy yourself. There ain't no point in going out here as long as you're not hurting somebody else and you know you're leaving no trace. Have fun on these trips. Bring whatever makes you happy. And that's the truth. Alright guys, so we just started on the split off the left to go around the short loop. We are going clockwise. And like I said, about 9.5, 10 miles out is where I'm looking for my campsite. So let's get on it. Alright guys, so stopped off here where it pops out on the road. As you can see, if you were to take the short loop, you'd go back that way. Long loop, we're going this way. Pop pack off, get some batteries out, get a drink of water, and we'll get back on trail. I was hiking, I'm like, why is my strap hitting my throat? Why are my sides feel like they're not, it feels like almost they're rubbing my armpits, like it's almost ready to chafe. And I'm like, what's going on here? I thought back, I thought, this is set for somebody like that has boobs way up there, and I don't have that big of boobs. I had to think about it, and I've done 2 trips now, counting this one with this pack, since my daughter, cobwebs, since my daughter-in-law got back from Carter Caves trip where she borrowed my pack. So, yeah, this is Tori's fault. I'm gonna have to stop and fix this. Her and her female parts rearranging the sizing on my pack and making it uncomfortable. How the hell do you women hike like that? Alright guys, so we made it to camp. Now this is what I call the Pine Barrens. It's just a stretch of real nice pines, and it's got campsites up here. Now I am going to stay here Which the only bad part about this campsite is, one, there's trash, but two, down there is the road. So not probably the quietest place, but I'm over the 10-mile mark. This is where I feel like stopping. It's gonna be a nice hang, nice night. A few patches through to where I can see the sky tonight. It'll be all right. Time to get some camp chores done, guys. It's already like 5 o'clock, a little after actually. So the sun's gonna break below them trees back there, and I'm gonna lose the light real quick. So I gotta get this stuff set up and ready for tonight. So I'll get back with you once I get things going. Okay guys, so I got the fire started. That road's busy. You'd be amazed how many cars come whipping up through there. It'll be all right though. So got the hammock set up back there. Trailhead's hammock, Trailhead's tarp. That's like the deep winter tarp, the big one. It's not the biggest they make, but it's one of their bigger standardized. It's got doors. Big boy. I've got it sprawled out though, because up here I'm not getting a lot of wind at the moment. And the temperature's still pretty warm. I'm sure it'll drop later, but that way when I get into it, it'll let a little bit of breeze through if we get any. That said, I've got a giant gear explosion going on over here. But let's talk about what we've got in the old Hilltop Packs food bag. If you guys haven't got one of these food bags yet, you really need to get one. So breakfast tomorrow is going to be our dehydrated biscuits and gravy. Actually, this is the sausage biscuits and gravy. So that's breakfast tomorrow. And for tonight, I did something a little different. So I had some dehydrated chili, but I knew I was going to need a big meal. So what I did was I added in some dehydrated zucchini, but also because I knew I'd be sweating a lot today, and I was, I added in some dehydrated pickles. I know it sounds funny, but when it rehydrates, it'll just taste like chili. I've got some pitas and some wraps in there. And a honey barbecue tuna if I get hungry. And then I got some coffee and some creamer in there. So yeah, just a basic overnight backpacking trip. Also brought 2 of these bad boys. I already drank about half of this one. So if you guys haven't had the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar, they're good if you can find them. Seems like they've been selling out. But it's turning out to be a good night. I got the fire started over here. Starting to take off. You can see I went around and kicked them pine needles away. This place is pretty dry and they left a lot of wood, but I'm going to be really careful tonight just because it's very dry up here. Now, I cannot wait to get in that. I'm going to sleep like a baby. I have been adding to my workout regimen, so my legs are shot today because today before I came, part of our new workout regimen is to do 250 jumps with a weighted jump rope and then 250 jumping jacks right afterwards. It's more like endurance training, and then I did some weightlifting. And then I came out here and hiked like 10.5 miles, or 10 miles, somewhere in there. So I'm not complaining, it's just I gotta think through my workouts better. Now I do have like a wannabe pond hole over here, but I haven't had any problems with bugs yet really, so that's good. I'm sure in the dead of summer it's awful, but somebody made a giant mess and left a big ass bag of trash hanging there. And then there's some cardboard and like a pillow up there. So I may try and come back around and see if I can find this spot and haul that stuff out. People are slobs. I don't know, guys. So I'm gonna get over here and get some water on the boil and get my chili going. Alright guys, so while the food's rehydrating, I'm gonna finish drinking my cup of coffee here. Kind of just look at the fire. I'm not trying to have a big fire. It's way too dry to have a big fire. And it's just me. So I don't really need a fire. I just, you know, I'm using it right now to keep the bugs at bay. They're starting to come out just a little bit. You know, not really for anything other than just kind of little day therapy. I'm really enjoying this solo trip. Now, 10 miles at Wildcat can feel like 15, to be honest with you. It's a green tunnel. That's what it is. It's got some elevation. It's what it is. But if you can look at it as challenging yourself and enjoying it, it can be enjoyable. I would not suggest trying to day hike it like we did a couple years ago in the middle of like the hottest part of the year, because that sucked. That said, it also kind of stirred us to push ourselves farther and harder. So it wasn't really a bad thing. But that said, there's good things to being out here by yourself. Like, I can make a mess. You guys saw my filming. Everything's just a mess. If Missy was here, I would not be allowed to have that big a mess. Same time, you know, you're talking to yourself essentially, which for me is fine. I talk to myself all the time. The fact that I got to get out is the best part. Now I know later tonight my wife will be kind of upset, and trust me, she'll be curled up with my big old dog Apollo, our big old lab basset mix. She'll be cuddled up with him in bed tonight. You can bet on that. And you can bet about 8 or 9 o'clock my granddaughter will come puddling over to our house going, "Where's Grandpa?" Because she'll have forgot that I went backpacking. And she'll be looking for me. So I know I'll be missed. But I think they all know that I needed this. And I know I needed this. So I'm just taking some me time right now. Getting out here, enjoying it. And it's going to be a long weekend of hiking. So I plan on enjoying tonight. I'll probably come back and talk to you guys once I get ready to eat and stuff. And then maybe a few times more sporadically through the night. But more than anything, this night's kind of for me, guys. Kind of just to let me relax and unwind a little bit. And maybe even reset for all the stuff we've got planned coming up. Because all at once, kind of, we've been reignited. And we're ready to go on a lot of trips this winter. So expect a lot of good content. Alright guys, so this is like a jambalaya mess here. But I'll be honest, I was guessing when I threw the water in, and I think it came out absolutely perfect for wraps. I'm gonna try and get it open some so you guys can see it. It don't look the best. Smells good though. I don't know if you guys can really make that out. If you guys haven't dehydrated your own stuff, you should really try it. Even if you put some stuff in the stove and dry it out, it's pretty amazing how it comes out. See if I can do this without wearing it. Pretty good. There's nobody back here, by the way, guys. There was 2 other cars in the parking lot when I came in, and one of them was day hikers down the bottom playing off trail. So there might be somebody else out here, or they might have been hunting, I don't know. It's bow hunting season, so they could have been hunting, but I haven't seen anybody else. You're on our secondary mount, which is a rig for the ring light. That's why you're kind of But anyways, I'm sitting here doing our drive-in movie theater thing with my phone. You guys know how it is. Like to come out here, and if no one's around, I put a little something on my phone. Now tonight, I thought I wanted something different, so I brought a little bit of stand-up comedy. If you guys haven't heard of Jim Jeffries, he's extremely funny, but unfortunately I have to have the video paused because he says some very rude, obnoxious, and non-PC things, and YouTube would not like it. But I'm going to pop you off that, spin you around so you can kind of see what we've got going on here.
Start. Alright, my name's Jim. I'm from Australia, but I've been living in the UK for like the past 7.
So as you guys can see, that sky has that beautiful hue to it. It's a gorgeous night. Really couldn't ask for anything better. I almost wish I didn't put my tarp up, just so I could look up and see the sky. I think we're going to have a pretty good starry night tonight, but that's okay. So I kicked up the fire a little bit, guys. Funny what some pine cones can do. Definitely got a little bit cooler out here. Temperature started to drop pretty reasonably. Gonna watch a little bit of my show. I'm on my second Jim Jeffries comedy special. Then I'm probably gonna climb in the hammock. I do have an Avengers movie on my phone too, but kind of starting to get tired. Be nice to get in there under that underquilt and just kind of relax and kind of sway. I don't know though. Really enjoying kind of just staring at the fire for a few minutes. Just kind of not thinking about nothing. Alright guys, so I've been watching a little more Jim Jeffries, just having a good laugh, but I'm tired and I'm about to pass out, so I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning guys. So beautiful morning here. I slept pretty good. I got about 6 solid hours of sleep. I got woke up quite a few times. The time of year it is, the deer are in rut. So they were out here just snorting and chasing each other and doing all kinds of things about 3 or 4 a.m. I went and looked this morning back behind my hammock, and there's actually a game trail that goes right alongside the road and around the backside of this pond, so that must be their normal traveling area because they were only probably about 20 foot from my tarp. Really had a pretty good hang, stayed pretty warm. I know it got down to about 38 last night. Not bad. There is some condensation this morning, about everything's damp, including my tarp. So I'm gonna kind of put off packing up real fast, try and let that dry up a little bit. Got about 8 or 9 miles out today. Not bad. Making myself a full 550 milliliter pot of coffee this morning, because I'm definitely going to need it. And then I'll throw some more water on the boil and then get the sausage, gravy, and biscuits going. So when I came out, I knew this canister was like pretty much empty. So I brought some Coghlan fuel tabs. I figured I could just find a couple rocks, you know, and make it work. And I also had the fire, and I had a Weber fuel cube and some fire starting material with me. So I knew I'd be able to heat up my water if necessary, but I'm also not afraid to cold soak my foods, any of my foods that I brought. So, but the canister is spitting as we speak, and I'm guessing that she's on her last leg. So I was probably lucky to get this coffee and enough water heated up to make my sausage, gravy, and biscuits. But I'm not complaining. I've already made it through and got my pants on. That's a feat unto itself. I was going to put them inside my backpack so that way they'd be dry and somewhat warm this morning, and that didn't happen. So, ooh, we're boiling. So what ended up happening is I folded them up on this stump. Now they're all cold and damp. If you guys haven't seen the video on how to make this, I will say that I'm more of a fan of the biscuits and gravy. The sausage can sometimes get a little gritty, but it's still good. But considering you pay, I don't know, $6 to $10 depending upon which supplier you go to for biscuits and gravy, this one's like 49 cents a serving. Now granted, those other suppliers are like 2 servings per bag, and this is only 1 big serving, but still. So we'll close that up, mush it up a little more, make sure we get all the chunks of biscuit down in there to rehydrate. Nothing like this stuff on a cold winter morning. Alright, so it's all rehydrated up. Kind of has the consistency of like stuffing. Kind of fluffy. Think I'm gonna go ahead and put it on a pita or a wrap. I really don't know which. Looks like I'll do wrap first, but I'll end up eating them both. Oh yeah, that feels good just going down. It's warm. If you haven't tried this, you guys ought to go check out our video. It's super easy to make. Alright guys, so everything's cleaned up. I double checked the fire to make sure it's doused. It sucks to be leaving this beautiful campsite, but it's time to get on the trail. It's already 9 a.m. So I need to hoof it down the trail, get my butt out of here. So let's see what the day brings us. Alright guys, so I just had to stop and share this with you. Some of you may find this nasty or rude or inappropriate, but teaching our kids about leave no trace and other things like that, to go along with that, my now 4-year-old granddaughter, she just turned 4, Olivia, has been learning about leave no trace and about potty in the woods. She's already known how to pee in the woods, but she wouldn't poop in the woods. She just wasn't having it. So we've been working with her, teaching her about cat holes and packing out, you know, paper products and such. So they were scouting on a fire road down south in Wayne National Forest on some upcoming hikes we're doing. And I have to let you guys hear the message that my granddaughter sent me from a fire road in down by the Marietta section of Wayne National Forest, because she sounds so proud and I just want you guys to hear it. So.
Pablo, guess what? I pooped aside of the road.
So she said she pooped on the side of the road. Now obviously they cat-holed it and buried it, but she was in the car and had to go basically. So for her, that's a big deal. She feels like she pooped in the woods. You know, it's important to her. Now I have a rather smart-ass way of talking to my granddaughter, because they used to say, I used to tell her she couldn't come over to spend the night until she was old enough to wipe her own butt. That was an ongoing joke we had. So what I sent back was this message, and this is where bad grandpa comes in.
That's good. Did you wipe your own ass?
So my granddaughter knows she's not allowed to say that word. She knows that very well. And she knows what it means. And her rebuttal was this.
No, Daddy, wipe my butt.
So she's getting there. She obviously can't wipe her own butt out in the woods, but we're getting there. It sounds rude, it sounds crude, but you know, teaching our kids about leave no trace and, you know, the principles of it and how it works, and even just preparing them for if you're out in the woods and you got to go potty and how to do it correctly, you know, that's paramount to me, in my opinion. And it's a little funny too. I'm sorry if you don't find that funny. I'm sorry if you're offended by it, but I find it a little humorous. It brightened my morning some. Alright guys, so we're around 6 miles into the day. Also realized something pretty wild. Now that I've lost all this weight, I don't have to take my pack off to get to my water bottles anymore. Seems stupid, but it's the little things. But that's what I got left for water. I passed a bunch of water sources. Yes, I have a filter on me, but I kind of feel like I have less than an hour to go. Something like that. And in the car, I have two cold, well, as cold as the mere cooler that I have them in will keep them after 24 hours baking in the sun inside my vehicle. But I have two Mountain Dew zero sugar sodas. So, kind of feel like I'll be fine. I'm really not that thirsty, to be honest. I'm just drinking because I should. Now, that said, I think I just pushed over my last uphill, real uphill of elevation. There's a little bit of roller coastering on top of this ridge, but nothing bad. So it should be pretty much smooth sailing back to the truck. Pretty excited to complete this solo hike. Had a really good time. But now is not the time to rest on my laurels. It's time to kick it and get down this trail. Alright guys, I came over here in the shade where it's a little cooler. The old Mir Sports cooler, it's a waterproof cooler, did its job. I can't believe it kept these things cold, all sitting in the truck all day in the heat, and then all night, and then all day again. That little thing does a good job. You can go check that out at Mir Sports. In the description I'll put the link to the website. But they're also the same company that imports the Lanshan 2 that we buys off Amazon. So check them out. That little thing did a real good job. I'll have to bring that thing more often. Ain't nothing like having a nice cold pop at the end of a hike or at the end of a backpacking trip. So total mileage came out to 18 miles. Actually just roughly over it. But I usually take out that little bit because of going back to get the tripod and stuff. Now, I would tell anybody who wants to come do this, make sure you have good maps, make sure you have all trails or something else that you can follow multiple sources, because you can get out there sometimes and the blazes can be kind of you know, not a big deal. Good overnight trip, had a good time doing it solo. You know, if you guys get a chance to come out here, it's not the most spectacular place to backpack, but if you enjoy nature and wildlife, you'll enjoy it here. So if you haven't already, go down, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and we will see you up the trail.